you guys, welcome back to Life with the Lords. Today I want to share with you 9 surprising things that we noticed after switching to a plant-based diet. These are just things that we've observed in our life. These are not scientifically backed. I'm sure there's some science to back some of them if you really want to look into it, but these are just things that we've noticed have changed in our lives ever since we have made the change to a plant-based diet, which was 6 months ago. So the number one thing that we noticed right off the bat was we became more open to trying new foods. You kind of have to when you switch to a plant-based diet because there's just so many new things that if you didn't try any of them, there wouldn't be much for you to eat. You'd be stuck with like rice and vegetables, and that's pretty boring. So if you don't venture out and try new things, your diet's going to be lacking and not very exciting. So that was the first thing that we noticed, was being willing to try some new stuff, and it definitely has paid off. The second thing that we noticed was that our taste buds and our cravings changed. So things that we used to crave a lot of, we don't really crave now. And we've also noticed that it doesn't take as much to satisfy those cravings. Usually now I'll crave more like fruit or things along that line. Derek still craves his cookies, but he will only eat some as opposed to eating an entire box. So your taste buds change, and that comes with time too. It takes a couple of months for that to start happening. Then the third thing that we noticed is that you can eat really as much as you want, and that's if you're eating whole foods, not processed junk. But if you're eating whole plant-based foods, you can really eat as much as you want until you're full and feel satisfied, and with no negative effects. You're not going to feel bloated, or you're not going to notice weight gain if you're eating whole foods. So on a plant-based diet, you can eat pretty much as you want, eat until you're satisfied, and have no negative consequences from that. Number 4, and this was the most shocking thing for me, was that animal foods will lose their appeal. Now this took up until a couple weeks ago for me, for certain foods like cheese. So when you're scrolling through Facebook, there's always a ton of posts of people's dinners or those like recipe videos, and I used to look at those when we were only like 2 or 3 months into a plant-based diet and be like, oh wow, that cheesy chicken bacon thing, oh that looks really good, like I wish we could still eat that. But a few weeks ago, right after we hit the 6th month mark, I was scrolling through and saw some ridiculously cheesy thing, and it literally made me gag. And just a couple weeks before that, I would have said, oh, that looks really good. But that's going to take a different amount of time for everybody. Derek lost the appeal of the animal stuff a little bit quicker than I did. But for me, it was 6 months before that stuff just completely stopped looking good to me. So if you're on a plant-based diet and you still see animal-based stuff and you're like, oh, that looks kind of good, don't worry, stick with it. You're going to lose that at some point in time, I promise you. Number 5, you are going to, or at least I should say we, have developed a thirst for health. And what I mean by that is we started out just switching to a plant-based diet. We had no other resolutions or goals as far as our health overall. But after we made that switch, we both have decided that we wanted to work out. We both started working out, and we've also been paying a lot more attention to other areas of our life, such as our health and beauty products, like what ingredients they have, like toothpaste, all that kind of stuff. Even your cleaning products, we've been trying to switch over to some more natural types of cleaners, and just we are way more aware of the chemicals that are in every aspect of our life, other than just the food area. On a similar note, number 6 is becoming more aware of our environmental impact. I used to be very much, I don't want to say anti-environment, but I didn't really care about the environment and my impact, but in the last few months it's really become a lot more important to me than it was, and there's still plenty of areas that we can work on for sure, but I'm trying my best to, reuse things, not waste food, like just be more environmentally responsible, which was definitely not something that I would have expected to come out of our change in our way of eating, but it has. So that's been a really unique change that we've seen. Number 7, these last 3 are going to be some physical changes that we've noticed. So number 7 is our hair and our nails have been growing crazy fast and so much stronger than they used to be. We have to clip our nails every week, and Levi's too. They're just ridiculous. They grow so quick. And my skin has really cleared up as well. But a little side note on that, for me, the first couple months, my skin actually got a little bit worse. And when I did a little bit of research into that, it was based upon my body. It's just part of the detoxifying process of getting rid of some of the excess stuff that was just in my body still. So for the first 2 months, my skin got a little bit worse than it was before, and then since that, it's been way more clear than it ever really has been. So that's been a really nice benefit. Number 8 is faster recovery from our workouts. Now, I just mentioned a couple points ago that we both have started working out, and I used to work out all the time a few years ago. I used to work out 6 days a week, and then I stopped that with having Levi and all that. Just really got away from working out. But now I'm back to working out 2 or 3 times a week. And before, years ago, when I was eating meat, I was eating healthy, what I thought of was healthy, lean meats and a lot of vegetables and fruits. My recovery time would be 48 hours. So the first day after I worked out, I'd be a little bit sore. The second day after was when I really would feel it and be like, ooh, yeah, really sore today. But that's changed, so now I work out, and the next day, the 24-hour period, that's when I'm the most sore, and by 48 hours, I'm feeling a lot better. So my muscles are recovering faster than they ever have from workouts. Derek's also noticed the same thing with that. And number 9, the very last one, and probably, I think I said the other one was my favorite, but I think that this one actually is probably my favorite because it makes life more enjoyable. We've had way fewer and less severe colds. It's winter here in New England. It's cold and flu season, and with a 2-year-old who's always around other kids and has no real sense of hygiene and sanitation, the last 2 years we have experienced more colds than I ever remember experiencing in my life, and it seemed like before we made the switch, Levi had at least 1 cold a month, even through the summer, and it would stay with him for a week to 2 weeks before it would be totally cleared up. Now it's the middle of winter, we've been eating plant-based for 6 months. Levi has had 1 cold, and it was kind of bad for a couple of days and then was completely cleared up after about 5 days. And as far as me and Derek are concerned, before we switched to plant-based, we both had some really bad colds that knocked us on our butt for several days, having to call out of work and things like that. But since we've made the switch, we've each gotten, I think, 2 colds. I wouldn't even really call them colds. It was more like having a runny nose for 2 or 3 days, and that's a couple of sneezes. But definitely not like they used to be. Still could function, still could work. It just was a little bit more annoying because you had to wipe your nose or blow your nose. But yeah, the number of colds we've had in our house has dramatically decreased since we have switched to a plant-based diet, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Just way better quality of life that we're living now because of that. So I hope that you have enjoyed these 9 things that we have found since we switched to a plant-based diet. If you've made the switch and you have noticed anything that I haven't mentioned here that you would like to share to help other people, please feel free to do so in the comments. We would love to hear about it. And again, keep in mind, these are just our experiences. I can't promise that you're going to have these same experiences, but I would think that it's probably pretty likely that you'll at least have some or most of them. So please let me know in the comments if you have anything else to add, any of your own experiences. Like I said, we'd love to hear it. And we'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.